Welcome to the channel. I'm Ricky Myers, and you have found my little piece of the internet called the Golden Age of Hard Rock. So welcome to the channel. Come on in, grab a chair. Today we're going to be talking about Alice Cooper, and in particular, a concert that was held on this day, April 9th, 1979, a show that was filmed commercially for sale on VHS. And the name of the DVD, of course, is right here. It's called The Strange Case of Alice Cooper. And anyway, we're going to be talking about that today. But first, before we go any further, glass of the day, La Jolla. There, I think right there. La Jolla, California. Very close to San Diego, which is where this particular concert was filmed at. And so my La Jolla glass has a little bit of history behind it. This was the very first Hard Rock Cafe that I visited with my wife. And I think it was probably 1991, maybe 1990, but I think 91. The La Jolla Hard Rock Cafe was the 10th Hard Rock Cafe to open in the world. And it opened in 1988. So we were there in 90, 91-ish, and it was just, that experience. We were walking down the street of La Jolla, and we see a Hard Rock Cafe, and it was not grand. Actually, I thought it was kind of small, and I'm like, is that the Hard Rock Cafe? Didn't even know one existed in La Jolla. And we're like, well, let's go up and see. And sure enough, it was Hard Rock Cafe. And my impressions of the very first Hard Rock Cafe was, well, one, overwhelmingly, I thought it was cool as hell. Loud rock music, rock memorabilia everywhere. So on the food was, the food was okay. And of course you could buy adult beverages. So there was nothing not to like about it, that very first one. I've gone on in the years past. Some of them are a letdown, and especially, now that, we're so far down the line now, what they play as music, I have no interest in some of that. But hey, when you can hear real rock music played loudly while you have a beer and look at guitars that have been worn and played by some of your idols that you grew up listening to, what's not to like about that, right? I think I kind of dragged my wife to these things. At this point, she doesn't really care for the food at them. I think she goes more or less as because I want to. She goes along with it. Well, anyway, that was my very first one, La Jolla. And let's see. So to try to get as close to San Diego as we can, I've got the La Jolla glass. I've got the Governor, the Terminator, the Conqueror, and I am drinking today Lagunitas IPA out of Petaluma, California. That is as close as I could get to San Diego. I didn't have any ballast today, but let's pour this so we can get this episode started off on the right foot. I don't think Alice would, I don't think that he's anti-drinking. I just think he doesn't drink anymore. Anyway, there you go. Let's see. Cheers. All right. So let's talk about the strange case of Alice Cooper. The concert film The Strange Case of Alice Cooper was filmed on April 9th, 1979, and released on VHS in September of 1979. The film captures one moment, one night, one performance on the tour supporting one of my favorite albums by Alice Cooper, and that's the masterful concept album, From the Inside. This particular performance was at the San Diego Sports Arena in San Diego, California. The tour was dubbed the Madhouse Rock Tour, and Cooper nicknamed his band the Ultra Latex Band,
which featured Davy Johnstone and Steve Hunter on guitar, Prakish John on bass, Pinty Glan on drums, and Freddie Mandel on keyboards. Cooper tapped the British band The Babies as his opening act. The Babies were supporting their Head First album. The film, titled The Strange Case of Alice Cooper, had been officially available in VHS format since late 1979, and then later as a bootleg DVD, before finally being officially released on DVD in 2012. The official DVD also features commentary from Alice Cooper that wasn't part of the original film. The audio from the concert was used for an FM radio broadcast and then subsequently found its way to numerous audio bootlegs that you can find under all kinds of names. If you're looking for the DVD, I'd recommend skip the bootlegs. You can easily find the official release on Amazon. And if you're a fan of Alice Cooper, it's an absolute must-have. It's a moment in time that was forever captured on April 9th, 1979.
Well, there you have it. Classic Alice Cooper in his prime, touring behind an album that's loved by many, myself included. Yeah. I know I'm not the only person that this is a favorite for. I know there are more of you out there, but I also know this is not the favorite Alice Cooper album for a lot of you. You know what? If it's not, I'd love to hear what is your favorite Alice Cooper album. Just drop it down below, because I read and I comment on every comment that's left on any of my videos. I think that's something, if you've been following this channel, you know I'm going to respond to every comment, good or bad, that's in those comments. So if this one isn't your favorite, what is your favorite? And wow, you know what? The Babies too. They're not as hard rock as most bands, but they were part of that era. And man, what I would have given to have seen this particular show. Well, one, to be captured forever on film, but two, to see two bands in 1979 that I've listened to my entire life. Man, I would have loved to have seen that show. Well, I think this is bringing another episode to close. And I've got almost a full beer still to drink. One more. As the governor would say, I'll be back. But until next time, keep rocking.